and welcome student. Today we will start the second lecture series of this Gauss theorem. So we in last lecture we have already studied what do you mean by electric flux, what do you mean by Gaussian surface, what do you mean by Gauss theorem. That is again very important topic. What do you mean by Gauss theorem? And there is a proof for the Gauss theorem. And there are three applications of Gauss theorem which are prescribed in our latest syllabus of ISC board. And after understanding these three applications, this chapter will be over. Again, the numerical form of this chapter again very easy. So here today we will complete the whole chapter of this electrostatic portion, that is the Gauss theorem. So without wasting our time, we are starting from the first topic, that is electric field through infinite line charge. Basically there are three kind of application of Gauss theorem. One is to calculate, to find electric field through infinite line charge, density lambda, electric field through a plane sheet of charge density sigma, electric field through a conducting spherical cell of charge density rho. Okay, so basically we having the three kind of charge density we have already studied in the last lecture. Part 1. One is your linear charge density. Suppose we having a linear line is there and so many charges are present over there. So formula for the linear charge density is equal to net charge divided by L, Q by L, and it is denoted by lambda. So lambda is equal to the linear charge density. Similarly, if a surface and the charge accumulation is there in the surface, then the formula for the surface charge density Q upon A. Sigma equal to surface charge density. Surface charge density, and the formula will be sigma equal to Q upon A. And the next type of charge density is rho, that is equal to the volume charge density, and formula for the volume charge density Q upon V. And one more important thing which you must understand, we will cover later on, that the formula for the dA, wherever there is integration for the dA, you will always consider a curved surface area in case of Gaussian surface. Okay. So first one is your electric field through infinite line charge. We need to determine the electric field through infinite line charge. This question can be asked in our board examination, 3 marks or 2 marks. So suppose we having the infinite long charge, line charge is present of length. Suppose we have taken a line charge of length L. Infinite can also be taken. So suppose we have taken a length of a linear charge, of charge density lambda, whose length is equal to L. Okay. So we will draw a Gaussian surface, which is denoted in a blue by using a blue sketch. We have drawn a Gaussian surface because this is a linear structure. For a linear structure, we will have a Gaussian surface in the form of cylindrical, because cylinder will be the three-dimensional structure for the linear. For point charge, we have discussed earlier spherical. Okay, so we know very well. Suppose we have taken a box also. We can assume a box also. So suppose this is a positive charge, electric field will be moving in all direction. And suppose we have taken a area dA. So area vector will be pointed out in this direction, and electric field also will be in this direction. हमेशा सब में जो एंगल होता है इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और एरिया वेक्टर में 0 डिग्री होता है, तभी रिजल्ट आएगा. अगर कोई कहे ऐसा हमने एरिया वेक्टर ले लिया जो 0 डिग्री नहीं हो रहा है, तो फिर रिजल्ट ही खत्म. So theta is the angle between area vector and electric field, that is again equal to 0 degree. We will proceed in our derivation. d phi equal to eta cos theta, simple step. Integration of d phi again equal to phi. E integration of dA, because theta equal to 0, cos 0 equal to 1. Again dA, integration of dA, we have already discussed, it is equal to the curved surface area for which the dA is to be calculated, and the curved surface area for the cylinder is 2 pi rh. Here instead of h we have used the value L. From Gauss theorem, by the definition of Gauss theorem, we know very well phi is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. Substitute the value of phi, Q upon epsilon naught, E into 2 pi Rn. Make E electric field as a subject of the formula, so we will get the value Q upon 2 pi RL epsilon naught. 2 pi RL will be in denominator. Now we will substitute the value of charge. We know very well linear charge density lambda equal to Q upon L. In place of Q, we can substitute the value lambda into L. So if you substitute the value Q in place of Q lambda into L, so the L will be cancelled out, and the value for the electric field is equal to lambda upon 2 pi R epsilon naught, which is again a very important result, which from where the question is consistently asked in our ISC board exam. Now the next topic is electric field through the plane sheet. So suppose we have taken a plain sheet where the charge density is so many charges are accumulated and the charge density also is sigma. So the electric field is moving in this direction also and electric field moving in this direction also, because the we know very well electric field line will always originated away from the positive charge. The area vector is also in this direction and in this direction also. So net charge is equal to EDA plus EDA. EDA for this direction and EDA for this direction. So some students may get confused because they are in opposite direction. So why plus is here? Because we are calculating the total flux. Total flux. So we need to calculate both directions. We need to we will add. We will never subtract here over here because electric field यहाँ से भी आ रही, यहाँ से भी आ रहा, तो हम total के लिए add करेंगे. So that electric field that means total electric flux equal to EA plus EA. Integration of dA we have taken as A. So that is equal to phi equal to 2EA, and the by definition of phi E we know very well from Gauss law, phi is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So again, if we substitute the value of phi Q upon epsilon naught, 2A E will be Q upon 2A epsilon naught. If you substitute the value for the Q equal to sigma into A by the definition of surface charge density, so A will be cancelled out and the value for the electric field is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. This is again a very important result, which is the question from this result can be definitely asked in our board examination. Now the next topic is the electric field through a thin conducting spherical shell. Electric field through a thin. There is also application for this plane sheet which we are going to discuss in the next lecture or maybe in the class, but for quarantine time period we will discussing the topic which are very necessary. We can further elaborate, each and every topic can be further elaborated. There are so many things are there which I am not going to cover, but for the board point of view, for appearing in the ISC board, so whatsoever the things which we are discussing in this video lecture, these are the more than sufficient. You will be getting the question paper and the 100% the question which we are coming in our board examination definitely from the notes which are provided in the form of PDF. Okay, and the notes will be explained over here. So next topic is electric field through a conducting spherical shell. So this question can be asked in a 5 marks. So thin conducting spherical shell, suppose we have taken a thin conducting spherical shell and the charges are distributed in this manner. Charges are distributed at the boundary of the conducting spherical shell. Okay, so we need to determine the electric field. So we having the two Gaussian surface. One is your inside and one Gaussian surface is outside the electric. So suppose the radius of outside is capital R and this radius of the thin conducting spherical cell is capital R and the radius outside the conducting spherical cell where electric field is to be determined is small r. So we know very well positive charge are there, so electric field will be moving in all direction and also the area vector is in all direction. So suppose we have taken a dA and electric field again in this direction. So here three cases will be formed. Case 1, electric field outside the thin conducting spherical cell. For that purpose, again we having the same formula, d phi equal to E dot dA cos theta, and we having electric field at dA. Theta is again 0 degree. So we E equal to integration of dA phi. By definition, we know very well phi equal to Q upon epsilon naught. So Q upon epsilon naught E or dA curved surface area. dA will be curved surface area 4 pi r square. Here r square will be taken because the curved surface area, the area will be taken only of this Gaussian surface. So 4 pi r square. And remember here r square will be taken, not the capital R square. So E will be Q upon epsilon naught into 4 pi r square. This is the value for the electric field outside the conducting spherical shell. If we substitute the value of Q, that is equal to sigma into A 4 pi r square, then our result will be Q upon epsilon naught. 4 pi will be cancelled out. R square upon small r square. Okay. Case 2. If at surface means you need to determine the electric field at this surface. So here capital R equal to small r and the electric flux will be Q upon epsilon naught. We know very well. Electric flux through surface equal to 1 upon epsilon times night charge Q enclosed by that surface Q upon epsilon naught. Case 3. Inside the shell electric field will be 0. Why? Because no charge is present over there. No charge is present inside the shell. Means in this region the electric field will be 0. If we draw the graph, suppose this is the thin conducting spherical shell. So electric field inside the thin conducting spherical shell equal to 0 and will be maximum at the surface, and then it will fall accordingly 1 upon r square. That's all for today, and this video lecture series will be completed. Now we will cover the numerical in the next lecture.